because I bought like $70 key lights.
Yeah.
And
shoot, we're on.
Oh man, look at you.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, and insects, welcome to Insanity. Yeah, welcome to the Games Talk Live podcast here. Today I've got a great show for you. Let me go ahead and turn that down.
I heard the clown music and I thought I was a clown.
Yeah, some people might consider you a clown. Not here. You know, I've known you for years now, and we've had, some great discussions back and forth in the DMs, and, and we actually, we'll get into this later. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, there it is. I see you guys. Got a few people in here right now. We got Gaming Fire, Alex Bashev. Or Basha, I don't know how you say that, but Mason Gamer, I see you. Gaming Fire, thank you for being here, guys. It's a little later than I usually go on, but I had to do this for this man here. He's a content creator here on YouTube, and he also goes live every Saturday night and does some wacky stuff live.
Do not watch me live on Saturdays.
He's usually shirtless, people, usually, and I don't understand, but it happens. People pay him to take off his shirt. Please don't do that here because I want Alex to remain clothed.
So this is a family show?
No, it's not a family show.
Okay,
it used to be. I started out as a family show, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It doesn't matter. I mean, come on. Let's be ourselves here. That's the way I look at it now.
Chad, if we drop a 50 in here, I'm getting naked.
Oh, geez. See that?
Chat, drop a 50 in here. Drop a 50. If we drop a 50 in here, chat shirt comes off. Let's go.
Hey, so anyways, I got the man, the myth, the legend. Oh no, it's Alex here. Finally, I've been wanting him on for a while. Alex, let's go ahead and talk about how did you start on YouTube? Like, what made you decide? Because look, I've watched a lot of your videos in the past. I've been around your channel for years now. I've seen where you started and where you came from and how you used to present yourself. And you were very straight-laced talking about sometimes it would be fitness, ADHD, even gaming, and you were all over the place. But what started you there, and how did you turn that around going into what you do now? And you could explain what you do now because you could explain it better than me.
So I didn't really. So I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'll just make a YouTube channel, and I saw people do it. And I was like, oh, I'll do it, see what happens. And I had like a really bad webcam and a really bad microphone. It's like a headset with the mic on it. Those really bad Logitech ones. I had one of those. Yes. And I just started doing that. And I didn't really know what direction to take it. I just wanted to like do stupid shit. And when I saw, I was like, you know what? When I think about 2 years ago, and I would like post content in between. It wouldn't make any sense. Nothing would be sporadic. It'd be like fitness stuff and mental health stuff and some gaming stuff, and nothing would actually stick or nothing would actually work. And then
but that algorithm, it's hard to break into.
So the algorithm. I don't believe there's an algorithm.
Oh, come on, Alex. There's an algorithm.
I don't think there's such a thing as an algorithm. You know what I think it is? I think it's your audience.
How so?
Yeah. And I think, so here's what happens. When you make a video, let's segue. When you make a video, what happens is your video is served to, let's say, 100 people. And if your click-through rate and your watch time and I think if those two big things are high, it'll then serve it to 200 more people. And if those two things stay the same, it'll do another 100, then another 100, then another 100. So what it does is I don't think there's really an algorithm.
But there is an algorithm because if I look up something specific, I'll get tons of recommendations for videos.
In terms of like you getting served, yes. Yeah. If you're getting served content, yes. But I think in terms of like the content you put out and whether or not it gets views, there's going to be stuff that gets hits and there's going to be stuff that doesn't get hits. But I think a lot of it has to do with your audience retention and your click-through rate. 99% of YouTube, in my opinion, is the thumbnail and the title. That's what I think is the biggest marquee part of that. And those two things are always really looked over or not done well enough for people to actually click their videos. And I think that's where a lot of people falter or like have a hard time. And then you've got, watch time and retention and things like that too. So it's always something wacky that happens on there. Did I lose Fonz? Am I alone?
No.
Okay.
I'm here. We're still here. On the screen. Yeah. No, dude, I hear what you're saying, but I believe that there's an algorithm.
No, okay. Well, I was being facetious. There is an algorithm.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is.
But you think what helps you more is your audience.
So I don't even look at my subscriber count anymore.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think subscriber count is relevant.
Alex. Everybody does.
No, but subscriber counts are irrelevant. Like your subscribers don't matter.
Kind of, because it's the view. It's the view count.
No, it's not even the view count. If you go into your analytics and you go into returning viewers, that's your real subscriber count. How many of the viewers did you have before watch your content? Now watch your content now.
Gotcha.
That's your actual subscriber count. Okay. Is how many returning viewers are you having each video? Because the thing is, like, YouTube is not going to surface your videos to your subs anymore. They don't do that.
Yeah.
And everybody complains about it.
Okay. So how did you go from the videos you created, again, like fitness, ADHD, gaming, to now gaming focused, but a twist? You're kind of going towards a genre where others have gone before, but you're doing it better than a lot of them.
I don't know about better.
I consider you to be better than some of them that are still doing it right now.
I think
more entertaining, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, in 2020, I was very like adamant. I was like, all right, everybody's at home. Everybody's like not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a video a day, every day. And then we're going to see what happens in a year. Like, cause I treat it like when I go to the gym, basically. You start off somewhere, you do a video every day, you work out every day, then you go from there. And so I was like, all right, let's just do that. And then I think the big one that hit was when Epic released the Unreal Engine 5 demo.
Okay.
And there were people saying how like, the SSD is like the new graphics card thing. And I was just like, all right, no, this is it. No, we're not doing this. I'm not dealing with this. We're not going to have this. And I just started doing that. And then it just took off. And then I was like, all right, so how do I make that better? How do I revolve that? How do I do other things too? And then I noticed that there was a really big gap in PC port reviews ever since Total Biscuit died. And I was like, a lot of games are coming to PC. No one wants to either pirate the game or spend $70 or deal with any of that garbage. There's no demos anymore. How do I surface whether or not the game is good to play on PC? And what I want to see. And then I just started doing that. And then I was like, all right, I'll do gaming news. Everybody does gaming news. How do I make that more fun? Instead of like having it like, so like Review Tech USA, I think is really good at doing gaming news because he's weird. And he does that there. He kind of like mixes it up and he does like really weird shit.
Yeah.
You don't like him?
He's been around for many, many years. It's not the fact that I don't like him because I don't know the man. I can't say that I don't like him.
You could say you're not a fan.
But I'm not a fan of his work. Let's just call it work.
Okay, so I think the thing is though, it's interesting because I mean the chicken thing is just basically a dick joke.
I guess
that's what it is. It's just it's just cocks. That's what it is.
I'm going to start talking to water bottles. Maybe that'll get
but is that
the algorithm?
But can you make that into like a sexual joke?
Of course you can. Look at it. It's phallic in nature. Look, I mean, it's come on.
It'd be good if you talk to it and then it'd squirt in your face.
Oh, Alex.
Now you're thinking outside the box.
We're demonetized now. Thank you.
I
think we're going to need that 50 for him to take off his shirt because now we're demonetized. Sorry, folks.
There you go.
Hit that like button, by the way. Hit that like button.
Yep. And so I think the big thing was I was just like, I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to do it every day, but I'm going to have fun with it. And I just kept evolving it. And I was like, all right, what do I want to do this week? How do I make it different? How do I spice it up? And even now I'm like, I'm not happy with my content now. I don't think I'll ever be happy with my content,
dude.
And
never.
I'm thinking of ways to adjust it. Yeah. I like this week's video. I was like, it got great views. It got great retention, but I was like, no, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
You're always striving to do better. That's how content creators are. Any good ones anyway. You just want to do better. I mean, you can't sit there and just be like, oh, that was the best thing ever. I did something phenomenal there. Let me put this out into the world. And that's the top. That's the upper echelon of where I'm going to reach. And that's it. You can't be that way. You always have to strive for better. So
yeah. And I think
get it.
I think a big thing too, I think I was on stream one Saturday and somebody asked me like, hey, your content's so good, I'll watch you forever. I was like, no. I was like, the thing is like, if I don't evolve, if I don't change, and if I don't constantly strive to do better, you're going to get bored and you're going to leave.
Yeah.
And so I've been like really adamant. I don't want to say adamant, but I've been very like interested as to why like very large channels with 100K subs, 200K subs get 10K views.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's kind of like been like an experiment for me, you know, like what happened in this channel for them to have this amount of subscribers, watch that content at some point, and then just never watch it again.
Yep.
So I've just been like trying to figure out like, what is it? And I think a lot of it is just a lack of evolving the content. It's the same. And it never changed, or it never got better, or it never improved, or they pivoted into a direction that their audience did not want to watch.
Yeah.
Or they said something really stupid on a social media platform.
Oh, that's the fanboy community for you.
That's
Twitter.
That or like, you know, just a really bad take in terms of like, I've seen people like destroy careers over like political takes when they're not even a political channel. And I'm just like, maybe you should not say those things.
Funny enough, the very first channel I made on YouTube talked politics and social commentary.
No.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
And I added in some gaming and stuff. And dude, the amount of craziness that is the political fanboys is way worse than anything you've ever experienced in the gaming space. And so I had to close that down. I was like, I'm done.
and the problem is like, you can sit there and all day long you're inundated with political conversation and ideology or points of perspective and views. And I do not care. Like, I don't have the energy, the time, nor the bandwidth to take on any sort of political conversation. So I made it a very strict rule. I'm like, no politics whatsoever. We don't do any of that garbage.
Nope.
None of that. Like, that's like one of the big things. Like, it's not even just can't. It's just, if y'all get mad at my gaming takes, like, who's gonna have like a political take, you know? Like, but even then, like, you alienate so many of your viewers who just don't want to hear that after hearing it all day long.
Bro, you alienate them in the gaming space, you know, alone. And again, politics is just, it's even worse. So I get it, bro. But the fanboys, and this is what's funny, is when I watch your content, I see most of the time, especially lately, it's been really going after Sony fanboys. And they don't really realize the reason why you're not going after the Xbox fanboys so much is that there's a lot of Sony fuckery going on right now. So that's what's going on with the fanboy community. And you're not kind of picking and choosing. You're just going where the salt is. And it makes sense, you know, but they'll call you an Xbot. I get called an Xbot all the time. And I'm like, bro, I don't know how many times I have to say this and how many people I piss off in my audience that are Xbox fans when I say, I prefer Sony exclusives over Microsoft's. And they still call me an Xbot. And I'm like, maybe they think I'm lying. I don't know, but I do. But
or you're saying it as a cope.
Yeah. But it's stupid to me, the whole fanboy stuff. I can't wrap my head around it. You know, I don't understand why people are so defensive of corporations. That's the biggest
That's
deal that I have.
that's
with
my
it.
big thing.
Yeah,
That's
me
my
too.
big
Me
thing.
too. And that's why I think I can relate to a lot of the stuff you say, because I'm like, bro, I can understand the love of the game. I can't understand the love of the corporation. Okay?
Yeah.
That's just it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Mandingo.
Mandingo McThickens with the $5 super chat says, "Hey Fonz, are you gonna let Alex go nipples out for the $50 super chat?" You know, he can do what he wants. But you know, again,
so you
that's him.
kind of fucked up here because my Discord knows about this.
Oh, well,
So your-
they can,
so your
hey, they
chat's
can
gonna
come on
be
through. Hey,
pretty-
they can come on through. That's
Your chat's going to be pretty gay in a couple of seconds. I'm just like, you
oh
know.
man, demonetized for sure. Damn it, I think I lost a super chat here. I had one earlier. Okay, I got it here. Brigadier's Blue, always with the $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. He says, won't be able to stay and watch live as usual, but he says, looking forward to catching up tomorrow. I'm sure you two will make for an amazing episode. Yes, it's going to be amazing. Now, okay, so aside from the YouTube stuff, I want to know a little bit about your gaming history. Like, where'd you start with your gaming? Like, baby Alex, where did you start?
NES was like the first console, and then I had a Acer Aspire 2 PC.
Oh wow,
It
you went to
was
PC
a
kind of quick, huh?
Yeah, real like right after. It was a 100 megahertz Pentium processor. I think it was 256 kilobytes of RAM. A CD. No, it didn't have a CD. It had a 3.5 inch floppy.
Oh boy, floppy disks.
Yeah,
for all
and
you
it was
kids
like that.
out there, man. I
that
had
was- that
one
was the-
somewhere
that was the
around
banger.
here. Damn it! I used to have one in the shot in my studio before because I thought it was funny. Because people were like, "What's that?" It's a floppy disk. This is what you played
floppy
games
disk.
on back in the day.
You had the 5.5 thick boy, well, floppy boy.
You had
like
the
that.
floppy, and then you had the smaller hard disk. Remember the hard little?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you had zip drives. Remember zip drives?
Yep.
Ooh,
Remember the tapes?
100
The
megabits.
tapes.
The
The
tapes.
cassettes.
Actual cassettes.
Yes.
Actual cassettes. So it was that, and then so it was like NES, SNES, PC,
Nice.
and then it was Doom, it was Quake, it was Deus Ex,
Classics in the 90s.
it was Diablo, like that kind of stuff. Like that's really what. So like those kinds of things that like shaped me a lot when I was in my early years, and then I got a PS1 and then 64, and I got a PS2, and then after the PS2. I was still playing on PC, so it was like Counter-Strike 1.6, a lot of online stuff. And then I went to, after that, I got a 360 from my little brother. So we played that.
I'm guessing
And
you
then after
played
the 360
Morrowind on the PC while I was playing it on the OG Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing it on the PC, yeah. Morrowind is probably one of the best games ever made.
Oh, I agree with you. Fantastic. It's one of the
so good.
reasons why I love Bethesda so much. I freaking, you know, and it pisses me off that people, I know you don't like some of the other games, or you feel that they're not as.
I feel like after Morrowind, it kind of like fell off.
Really? I don't think so. I like a lot of their games. I think Oblivion was great. Skyrim was great.
So I can't do Oblivion because Todd Howard literally voiced himself as God in that game.
Come on. It's a great game.
And then on top of that, there are actual voice lines where NPCs are like, can we cut and do that line again? Like in the middle of you talking to them in game, they were never caught. Like, it just felt like a mess to me.
God, it was one of the first RPGs on console anyway, that really made you have that wow moment, you know, coming out of the sewers and stuff and seeing the landscape and be like, wow, I could do this and do that. It was just such a good game to me. I love Bethesda games. Get the spammer out of the chat, please. Any of you that are modding, thanks. Appreciate it. But yeah, no. So that's a fine history, I guess, mostly Nintendo, PlayStation, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a 360. Let's go ahead and talk about, well, you know what? Before we get into the topics, I want to play a game with you, Alex. Something I do here. It's a trivia game. You've probably
play
seen
Counter-Strike?
No, it's trivia.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and play this. 5 questions.
Well, this is good. This is good.
5 questions, 4 trivia questions, and 1 subjective question. 5 total.
Okay.
So let me get my music going here for you. There you go. Ominous
This
music
is kind of
plays.
scary now.
All right, here's question number 1, Alex. Who is the protagonist you play in? You play as in BioShock. The protagonist in BioShock.
Got him. BioShock?
BioShock. No cheating.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. I know. I remember Would You Kindly?
It's Jack. Jack is.
Oh, you mean the most basic bitch name of a character? That's why nobody cares.
Well, okay, you say that. Here's another one for you. Who is the main villain in Final Fantasy VI?
Kefka.
Correct. Kefka Palazzo. Number 3. Windows 95 came with 4 pre-installed games. Can you name at least one of the 4 games?
Space Pinball.
Correct. I can't believe you didn't say Minesweeper.
That's come on, man.
Come
That's
on,
Minesweeper was in 3.1.
But it still came pre-installed on the
It did,
Windows
but
95.
Space Pinball's what everybody played.
That was an easier one. Dang. You know, I thought PC guy. Okay, let me give him a PC question. I knew you would get it, but I thought it was going to be Minesweeper for you. But you still got it. All right, number 4. The very first 2 Wolfenstein games were stealth-focused and had a top-down perspective. Can you name at least one of these 2 games?
I don't want to say Spear of Destiny. Oh shit! You're going like. No, because Spear of Destiny's first person. It's probably like in the top down.
Yep.
Got me on that one.
All right, it was either Castle Wolfenstein or Beyond Castle Wolfenstein. Those were 2 top-down perspective.
Wolfenstein 3D, the Wolfenstein 3D Spirit Destiny, Castle Wolfenstein.
Yes,
makes sense.
Yes. Okay. The chat told me to make it harder for you today, so that's why
that one was tough because I didn't start playing until Doom, and Wolfenstein was before
most
Doom.
people didn't play it until 3D,
and it was Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
And then Spear of Destiny was after it. See, I almost had me.
Can turn it off for this one. Subjective question: what is your favorite game of all time and why?
Fuck, that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
We'll make it a tie. Chrono Trigger for the SNES.
Okay.
And Deus Ex. It came on the year 2000.
Really? Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. Deus Ex is probably one of the best immersive sims ever made, even by today's standards. If you play Deus Ex now, the concepts and ideologies presented in Deus Ex just when they had that in the year 2000 before 9/11 is actually incredibly shocking.
Yeah.
How things are now. You can play Metal Gear Solid 2 now and have that same experience. And then Chrono Trigger for the SNES because it's one of the best RPGs ever made. Like just hands down, front to back, there's nothing really bad about that game.
Yeah, it's really excellent. I accept that answer. You got 3 out of 5 today. Not bad.
There we go. It's not bad.
Not terrible. Some people have done really terrible here. Asa from Game On Daily. Yeah.
You're
shockingly.
Kidding. He's a bright guy too.
Very bright guy. But the problem was I asked him a question about games that he doesn't like or never played. And I didn't know that. And I was like, oh no. Like I didn't realize that. But anyways, you did great.
You set him up.
You don't win anything here though. You
Snap.
don't win anything at all, except the pleasure of being able to play the game with moi. Anyways. I got a couple of super chats I want to read here real quick before they go away. I got one from Spinal11. He says, Fonz, getting in shape and looking tasty. Yes, I have been going to the gym and
nice.
Doing my my diet. Thank you. Save some for the rest of us, bud. Okay. I get it. GSD getting stuff done. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, Lex, you getting around? Bruh, You prepping for Fleet Week? LOL. What's that about? Are you prepping for Fleet Week?
I don't know what Fleet Week means.
Yeah.
Oh, San Francisco Fleet.
Oh, here we go. This is what it's about. All right. So it has begun.
Can you pull up Ricardo on YouTube? No, I don't. Don't.
No. I saw it on your stream before. I don't need to pull up Ricardo. All right. Risk it for the biscuit. Thank you for the $8 super chat. I thank you very much, man. He says, you boys are showing your age. Fonz, this is the time slot, bro. Keep it here, and I'm actually awake for it. That's right, because this man will get up early for my show, like at 5 or 6 a.m. sometimes in Australia. And
Jesus.
I'm like, whoa, that's a bit early. But it's late for the UK crowd. So you have to find that balance and medium, but also you got to find what works for you. And right now, I'm kind of liking this time slot. I'm not going to lie. It feels kind of good.
It's not a bad time slot, and you can get like a lot. I think you can get like a few more people on too, because just I'm old, so it's hard.
Yeah,
but
exactly. We got kids like and stuff. Thing. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of sense. But no, let's go into our first topic here. Let's talk about. All right, so I got to be honest with you guys. I'm kind of sick of this topic, but it's in the news. It's got to be talked about, and I do want to talk to Alex about it, see what he thinks. But it's the CMAs and the ABK deal. All right?
Sure.
A lot of people consider the CMAs to be, well, they think that the CMAs are pandering to Sony at this time. Do you feel in any way that they may be pandering to Sony? Because a lot of the stuff they're saying is a lot of the same stuff that Sony has been quoted saying recently. Do you feel that they've been pandering at all?
I don't know about pandering. I think that's very pedantic to like say like a government. I mean, as skeptical as I am of government organizations, I think that's a very pedantic way of putting things, as if they're being paid or pandering. Because everyone was like, oh, Xbox is paying off Brazil, as if like that's a thing, or like Brazil is a very Xbox centric country or whatever. And so that's why it approved. You know, you could say the same argument that the UK is also a very heavy PlayStation.
Yes.
Right. Whatever, you know, and I don't know if that's pandering. I think what
do you think it plays a role that they're PlayStation centric opposed to Brazilian, Xbox centric?
I think they may be looking at things economically more so than like video game wise.
Yeah.
I think if you have a very high economy of products coming in from a specific company that are pumping money into your economy, you're going to be looking at it from that perspective of how is this going to impact that company from producing what we have here. I mean, I don't even know if there's any sort of like anything specific to the UK or even Brazil with Xbox or Sony. So I can't even comment on that, but they have to be looking at it from like an economic perspective more so than anything. And that's how I mean, if I was a government agent, that's how I would look at it. Like, right, how is this going to impact our economy? How is this going to impact us negatively or positively? And, and will one of our biggest influx of just exports or imports be coming in be impacted?
Well,
it's probably what it is.
I have a friend in Brazil, and he told me that the import tax for PlayStations are more expensive than the Xbox import tax. And that's one of the reasons why Xbox is so popular in Brazil. So,
well, I know that Microsoft opened up a factory.
They had a factory there before. I don't know if they still run that. This was during the 360 era. So I don't know if they still have one there. I haven't looked into that. But I know in 360 era, that's why a lot of them became Xbox gamers there, is because of that. And I want to show this. Oh, real quick. I want to get Hargeet Shani. Love this guy. He's such a freaking amazing supporter and of like everybody's podcast in the community. Anyways, Alex, you showing the Sony videos when they came into the market was awesome. Love it.
Yeah, that was something. Every corporation has to make a splash when they come into the gaming market in some way or form. Right. And Xbox did theirs by getting Halo, and Sony did theirs by buying one of the largest European publishers and developers with Lemmings, and getting all those third-party deals going on and stuff like that. So you have to do something to entice people to join your or buy your product. That's just one of the ways to do it.
For sure, for sure. I want to talk about this quote real quick regarding the CMAs. It says, Microsoft's first-party titles are not available on any multi-game subscription services other than Game Pass. And this is coming from the CMA. All right. When I look at that quote, I'm like, well, what Sony game is, on another platform? And a Sony exclusive game. Spider-Man ain't going to Game Pass. It's really a weird quote when you look at that, because it's like a duh moment when you read it. It's like, what are they trying to say here? It's hypocritical.
Subscription services other than Game Pass. Yeah, that's a very odd quote. Do you have the whole thing?
No, I don't have the whole thing, but that's just one of the quotes that I read that I was like, really, I don't understand why they would even say something. It's hypocritical. It's the same exact type of wording that PlayStation has been using. And I'm like, this is why a lot of people speculate that they could be in their pocket. Again, I don't necessarily think that. Well, MLB The Show. Oh, well, actually, you're right. MLB The Show would be one a Sony game on another. But again, Deathloop is over there on Sony's, platform, or was the exclusive anyway. They had it for before Xbox did. My point is, it just doesn't make sense that they would say such a thing if they're really basing it all on MLB The Show. That's craziness. Like,
well, maybe they're using it as an instance. Like, hey, here's an instance where a Sony exclusive is now on a competitor's service, right? Even though it has nothing to do with Sony whatsoever, but everything to do with the MLB, right? And that's probably where they look. They're not even understanding that perspective. They just see that logo and they see Xbox on Game Pass, so that's probably what they're looking at. And then they're looking at it like, okay, what Xbox game is on PS Now? Yeah, that's probably how they're looking at it. They probably don't even understand what they're even saying, because they have no idea about Major League Baseball. They have no idea about the actual fact that MLB The Show's on the Switch.
Again,
coming to the Switch.
I feel, that it like you said earlier, I think it's more to do with the economic impact that the area will sustain, that they may sustain if this were to be, gone through the ABK deal, which I still think it will. I think they'll still approve the deal. For some reason, I think they're kind of just biding their time, or I don't know exactly what they're trying to do, but they're just delaying the inevitable, it feels like. Because
do you think the CMA or Sony?
CMA. The CMAs at this point.
I mean, does the CMA even have any impact over what the FTC will do?
Well, I guess if they disapprove, it may have an impact. I don't know. I don't know how much weight they carry in that regard. But
Chat's saying Minecraft, but I don't think Minecraft's on PS Now.
Yeah, it's their game services that they
or PS Plus or whatever. Yeah,
but
or like Elder Scrolls Online. Like, you could make that argument like Elder Scrolls Online, Minecraft, stuff like that.
Is Elder Scrolls Online on PS Plus? I don't know. Or was it?
Or which I don't even know which service is. I think it's just PS Plus now, right? Because they rolled everything all together.
Yeah, it's that premium and the 4-tiered system or whatever. I don't know. But here's a question for you. How scared do you think Sony is with this, and how badly do you think this will hurt them if it goes?
I don't think they're scared.
Oh, I think worried. Their bottom line will get hurt.
Yeah, their bottom line will get hurt. I think it's a really bad look for Jim.
Really?
Yeah.
What
I think I think as a well, he's the CEO, right? I don't want to sound like a moron.
Yeah,
I'm a himbo, Chad. I'm sorry. So Jim Ryan, as the CEO of a major multi-billion-dollar corporation, is flying around.
Oh, hold on. Hargeet Shani with the super chat did say that Deathloop is in PS Plus Extra. Nintendo has some rare games in their sub as well.
There you go.
So, yeah. Anyways, you were saying that Jim flies around going to...
Yeah, he's going to these other countries, doing all these other things, and it's making him look... I feel like he's taken the bullet for all of this.
I got you.
Just for some money and Call of Duty skins.
Yeah.
Because no, they're not talking about, if you look at it, they're not talking about any other franchise besides COD.
Well, somebody
COD
looked
is like
into
the
it.
only thing they're talking about.
Yeah, because COD is like the number 6 most grossing game for Sony right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's because of their deals and stuff that they've been making. That they can't,
and that's
money
really
had
because of
anymore.
their deals. Yeah. And I think what's happening is, instead of being adamant and like, if it goes, it goes, whatever. And like looking, and I think it's making Jim Ryan look weak as a leader.
I agree with that. It does.
And I think that, and I hate to say that, because, you know, Sony has honestly very good, capable studios. And I feel like Insomniac has been carrying that entire box for the last 2 years.
Insomniac.
I think one development studio has been carrying that entire box for the last 2 years.
They're definitely their best studio.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
And I think that, you know, when you have a company like that has the talent that they have in their backing, and you're fighting for a third party company that just gives you money, 30% for every cut of skins that you buy, like, it's just like what are you doing? Like, why are you wasting your time?
It's big because it's multi-platform, and again, it's their number 6 grossing game, and I get it, but at the end of the day, this is what I've said time and time again. They've got such quality developers. They could take Bungie and one of their other groups, put them together. I said Guerrilla Games in the past, make a good first-person shooter. They could do something.
You've got Resistance sitting in the background doing nothing. You've got Killzone that hasn't done anything since the PS4. You've got SOCOM that hasn't been touched. You want a military shooter that you can bring back for people to actually get behind? It's SOCOM.
I agree. 100%. They can sell skins and everything else for it.
You could do skins, the whole shebang, and you're good. Oh, an actual tactical military shooter that people will get behind that has our brand name that we have from before. There it is. It's like they don't want to look at their back catalog. But again, Jim Ryan's the kind of guy who also didn't want to do back compatible, didn't want to do back compatible.
Yeah.
So
PlayStation guys are willing to spend 70, some even say upwards of $150 per game. So why not sell them something like SOCOM? And, you know, well, you get these guys on Twitter a lot, right? These fanboys, these extremists, all right? Not the guys that, you know, you may call a friend or whatever that are cool. And, you know, these fanboy extremists will go to Twitter and they'll say things like that. I'd gladly pay $100 for a remake. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you're out in public saying this stuff, you know, and you're pushing a narrative that I don't want to spread at all. I'm a cheap bastard though. Okay. I like my games as cheap as possible. And then when I look at the economy and see these financial reports for these corporations, and I see what they make off of these games, even a single player game, I'm like, at $60, they're making some bank. And you're telling me that charging an extra $10 is necessary? Bullshit. I call bullshit all day.
Games shouldn't be over 50.
No, especially in the day and age where we are mostly digital now. It's already been proven. Even Sony's game fan base, 80% are digital now. It's crazy.
So there's no box. There's no logistical transactions. There's no manufacturing issues. Everything is done online. So you're not paying for any overhead. You're paying for a couple of servers to host the game. It's just ones and zeros. You send it out. Boom, you're done.
Yep.
So why are you charging me even more money if I'm getting less product?
Yeah.
And then they dice the game up. Then they do DLC out of that diced up content. Then they'll do skins and microtransactions and all that other garbage on top of that. So it's like, none of this makes any sense why you're charging me more and then charging me more. Like Gran Turismo has to be one of the most lauded like series of games, and then like turn around and you're going to shit on it completely.
Yeah.
Because you want it to feel important when you get a car. Like, no, dummy. That's not. What are you doing?
It's
you know, you just want us to pay more money. That's what it is.
Yeah, of course. It's corporate greed at the end of the day, and it's something that
I've spoken out.
Yeah,
I've shit on NVIDIA. I think the last 4 weeks intensely, and I feel like bullying NVIDIA is. I'm going to say it. You're just not going to demonetize. Bullying NVIDIA is morally correct. I feel like that is a company that you can bully and never have an issue with. NVIDIA's rate of return, they're making a 65% profit.
Wow.
On top of what they're,
a lot.
So it costs them $490 to make a 4090.
Wow.
It costs them $500 to make a 4090. They're selling it for $1,600.
That's insane.
Explain that to me.
Capitalism.
Not even capitalism. Not even like,
but it goes beyond that. It's greed. It's fucking greed. Of course it is. Yeah, I mean, I used to have the breakdown, but this was a few years back. The cost of goods sold, everything. I've done videos on this in the past, and I broke down how much it costs to make the games and stuff, and they were charging like an extra $27. It was unnecessary. That was just
just put it on there
off the top.
It's like going to a car dealership and trying to buy a car. You just got shit stacked on top of whatever you wanted to buy. The sticker price is $30K, but when you get done, you're like at $45,000. You're like, what the fuck happened?
Yep. But we cleaned it for you and we gassed it up.
Oh yeah, thanks.
It's ready to go. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Well, with today's gas prices, it's pretty expensive. I got a super chat here that I want to get to. Danny Passion Official says, "Yeah, Netflix originals are coming to Disney Plus." Yeah, exactly. That's not happening.
Yep. Isn't like Daredevil coming or Punisher too?
Yeah. Something. Well, it's because of the Marvel licenses and stuff. It's no longer a Netflix, show. Can't be. I've got one here from Hargeet Shani again. He says, game costs should be based on value to the customer. See, this is where I disagree with you, Hargeet. He says, Sony hates that there is a new model that will reduce costs for the consumer. All the while, they make ridiculous amounts of profit. Exactly. Well, that is exactly what I don't like about this whole talk about it's subjective or value is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to these games, because there's always a baseline. There's always a baseline to every product. These products cost this amount of money, and this is what you expect. And when you go over that baseline, you're telling me that product is better than the baseline product. And it's not. Right. We have not gotten past last generation even. The games still look and play exactly the same. There's no big difference there. So what am I getting for that extra $10? Ray trace shadows. Ray trace shadows.
Yes.
And mind you, this is stuff that was already on PC last generation. So what am I truly getting for that $10? Nothing. The
SSD.
Oh my God, the super fast.
I really feel like the most next gen feeling is getting games on an NVMe SSD for consoles.
Thank God you didn't say freaking the goddamn controller, PlayStation 5 buzzing controller. Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
dude, I turn off all vibration on all my controllers.
People question me. They're like, "Why do you do that?" I don't like it. I think it hinders you sometimes. I don't like it. And then they want you to fight triggers on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, the last thing. Yeah, with me and my himbo monkey hands, you think I'm not going to break that controller?
Exactly.
I'm going to snap that bitch in half.
Yeah. No, it's not for me. I've got a super chat here from Rel. He says, Sony don't want to lose COD. The extra money is used for blocking rights, exclusive deals for third party.
Oh, man.
Yeah. God, the blocking rights. Yeah. Especially Game Pass. Game Pass blocking rights. How do you feel about Game Pass, by the way, Alex?
I was talking about it last night. I think so. I'm not gonna me or look at me. So I don't want to flex or anything like that. I think that from my perspective, I've been very fortunate enough to be able to get game keys. Right. So, or also I said this too. I just pirate video games because I don't care.
I've done that when I had a PC in the past.
Yeah. So for me, I get game keys and I'm also a scumbag. So for me, I just don't care. And what happens is I don't see value in it because I have an avenue where I don't need it. But I also have to say that if I was strictly, just either playing on console, or I didn't have a YouTube channel, or I didn't feel like going on being a pirate, then I feel like then Game Pass would be the ideal situation, because on PC it's $10 and I get everything I want. If I was only on console, that's $15 and I get hundreds of games. And I'm looking at it from the perspective of like the average gamer will buy 3 games a year at the most, $60 a pop. That's $180 a year. Okay. Game Pass on console is $15. That's $15 a month by 12. That's $180 a year. I'm still spending the same $180 that year, except now I'm getting a ton of other games with that same 180. So I think if you're going to be doing that, and I'm also going bald, yes, chat. I think if you're going to be doing that, you have to be cognizant of like, okay, what kind of value am I getting from it? And I think if you're just looking at it from like, I have a plethora of games to choose from the same amount of money I'm spending every single year, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. And I think that's like a really positive thing, because games are expensive and I'm sick of paying all that money for them. Just don't do it.
Yeah. No, I love Game Pass. I think it's a great. I love these services. I would love the premium PlayStation service if they got day and date. If they put all their games in their day and date, I would.
They don't even have to do that.
But for me to buy in, I want day and date games. And that could be games and also their first party. Their first party definitely has to be day and date for me to buy in. That's a big thing for me. Because I think what they should love their games, and I'm cheap.
I think I made a video on it and I forgot what I said exactly, but I think a big thing that I don't like about it is the fact that their classic games are locked on the highest tier. I think their classic games should be the middle tier. So like you go back and you get to play all your PS1, PS2 games, and they should work on getting a PS3 emulator up and running on that thing. Because if our PCS3 can do it, I don't understand why Sony can't. This is like 6 guys in a basement, and they've got a working PS3 emulator that runs games at 60 FPS. And it's like, I even run it on my Steam Deck, for Christ's sake. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, you guys can't do this? And a bunch of dudes in a basement can? Are you kidding me? On their spare time? It's like, none of this makes any sense. And so I think they need to put their emulation on their second tier, make their third tier, if they really wanted to do it, $19.99. I think, is that how much it costs now?
Yeah, I think it's $20. Yeah.
If it's $20, day and date, first party games, boom, done.
Yeah.
Because you got $20 a year or $20 a month.
That's a month. Times.
That's 12 months. That's what, $240 yeah.
And I don't know how many subscriptions they have, but geez, they could be making billions every year.
Well, yeah.
It's crazy,
For what? For 10 more bucks? No, like just you get $240 a year every single year. If you buy 3 PS5 games at $70 a pop, that's $210.
Yeah. I mean, right now
you're literally making $30 more per year per customer just by doing that, even if they buy 3 games.
Yeah.
How is that not viable? Like if that's the average of what a consumer spends, you get 3 exclusives a year, right? So we've had what? Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, and what are the games? Ratchet and Clank. Well, Ratchet and Clank wasn't this year.
GT7, Gran Turismo
7. There's your 3 games. $210. But instead, you could have done that day one, $20 a month, $240. You would have made a $30 increase every year over year.
Yeah. I mean, because
it's the same amount of money.
If you're looking at it, they're making what they're selling about on average, these games. Well, they're all over the place. They're all different. We still don't have any data on Horizon Forbidden West. And they usually like to talk big numbers. But so I assume that didn't sell well. And that's why they bundled it. Now you can't buy a PlayStation 5 without Horizon Forbidden West.
I think they just want, it doesn't cost them any money to put that game on there.
Yeah, of course.
It costs
basically an extra $50 that they get in.
I think they just wanted the extra $50 on there.
Oh, yeah.
And they make you think that you're getting a deal.
Exactly. And it's also another way that they were like saying, oh, we're not going to raise the price of the console here at home. But they already did. You did.
You can only get the bundle.
Exactly. Good luck with that. If you want to try to get, and good luck with trying to get a digital console too. The unicorns of all consoles. That's the one I wanted. Didn't end up with one. Ended up with a disc-based one I'll never use. I've got a super chat here from Highlander 001. He says, I have seen Sony can lose between 100 to 220 million a year if they lose COD exclusive content, even if COD stays on PlayStation. And I think Jim Ryan is just trying to keep his job. Yeah. It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, but you can also say like, I have the ability and the development studios to make that money up. I mean, if you truly were like backing behind what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I think that we've heard it. And I'm just using the same logical arguments or illogical arguments that we hear on Twitter all day long. We have quality games. We have quality devs. Well, your devs aren't quality enough to make a competitor for COD, are they?
Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously.
So what is it?
Hargeet Shiny, he's clearing up what he says. He says, what I mean is that games shouldn't even cost $60 by default.
Correct.
To me, Ratchet and Clank should have been $30. Games shouldn't automatically be 60 or 70. Okay, I can get on board with that. But they're, again, they've always had that baseline put out there, $59.99, and now it's changing to $69.99. And it sucks because, you know, a lot of people get mad when we talk about this issue. And they say, you know, it's a non-issue, you know, buy it if you want to, don't buy it if you don't. And I'm like, well,
okay,
I have FOMO. Okay. I have FOMO and I suffer from that. When I hear a story get leaked and I see what's going on with the game, then I don't want to play it. I'm done. Like, so I won't buy it. And it ruins my experience or the lack thereof. So they'll get pissed off about this kind of talk. But at the end of the day, it's because it matters to me. I care about these prices. I care about my own wallet. I don't care about their bottom line. I care about my own. Like, that's why I care. That's why I talk
Fonz,
about it.
I feel like you're going to envy me because I'm such a himbo that I forget the spoilers by the time I get to play the game. Dude. So it doesn't even like, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then like 2 minutes later, I'm like, huh, whatever. So like, you know, like just, I mean, just you know, just make your head empty. Be like me, just no thought.
Make your head empty.
Not a single thought behind those eyes, bro. Just make it empty.
I don't believe that for a second. And the Andrew 13, he says, great show as always, Fonz. Frit salt better, Alex.
Lies. Liar.
Yeah,
liar.
I don't agree with that as well. Frit salt is not better. It's decent.
Be a himbo, Fonz.
Anyway,
be a himbo.
Be a himbo. That's what Eric Cuts for the Win says. Be a himbo, Fonz. No, I can't be a himbo. Yeah. Now let's go ahead. Move topics. I'm done with this. Let's talk about a great little topic here, and of course, it's going to be Gotham Knights. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Every time, Alex, I see this game, something new comes out, a new trailer. Or something, you know, something showcased. It gets worse and worse.
That game looks bad.
And, you know, we had gameplay with the soundtrack that was Livin' La Vida Loca, for crying out loud.
Oh, my God, dude.
And I was like, really? And then what about the horrible dialogue that we had? Remember this?
You burn now, grass. No one will mow you ever again.
No one will ever mow you again.
It's so, you know what it is? It's Zoomer cringe.
Zoomer cringe. Oh, okay.
It's like written for like Zoomers, is what it is. Like it's like written for like, you remember like, okay, remember when we were younger and like ASDF was really big on YouTube because it was so wacky and random. Mm-hmm. That's what this feels like. You know, like, oh, how do we make this? It's like, how do you do, fellow kids? The game.
Yeah.
Is what it truly feels like in terms of like their decisions. And even then, like the game looks really dull and just not good for the price they're charging.
WB Montreal, the developers, they said that on consoles, they were focusing on ray tracing and untethered co-op. And this is the reason why it can't get past 30 frames on the Series X or the PlayStation 5. And here's a direct quote. This is from Fleur Marty. I don't know how you say her name. Sorry if I butchered it, but She's apparently a developer there or something at WB Montreal. She says, I know many of you gamers are wondering about the availability of a performance mode for Gotham Knights on consoles. Due to the type of features we have in our game, like providing a fully untethered co-op experience in our highly detailed open world, it's not as straightforward as lowering resolution and getting the higher FPS. For this reason, our game does not have a performance quality toggle option and will run at 30 FPS on consoles. Not good. Not good.
The untethered co-op is such a bullshit statement.
Well, okay, so let's talk about the untethered co-op,
bullshit statement.
First of all, I don't think I've ever heard of that terminology before. I get it though. They're trying to say that you'll be able to be on one side of the map while and the other guy will be able to be on another side of the map. I don't believe it.
That has nothing to do with that. Actually, you know what? Excuse me. That has everything to do with input latency and internet speed rather than actual game.
You don't think that's
rendering.
CPU intensive?
That has nothing. What is it going to do? If my teammate is not on my screen, what is it going to render?
Oh, gotcha. But doesn't it have to render all together somewhere? Or
what would it render? All it does is send message. It's like, okay, so that's like saying
so you're
when I
saying
play
it's
Counter-Strike,
that's where the
when I play CS:GO and I have the other 5 team members on the opposite side of the map, I got to render them too? Or do I just figure out, is it just the messages back and forth from the server?
Gotcha.
That's all it is.
Gotcha.
There's nothing to do with rendering. That's just a bullshit statement. Oh, our untethered co-op. So what?
Well, let's say that's the reason why the co-op didn't allow
it's
this
really
to
the
happen.
ray tracing.
How about this? How about you turn off ray tracing and you let the single player guys get the 60 frames? Because
pretty much
you're going to lie to me and tell me that this is a highly detailed world. Let's look at that, folks. Look at this. An old Arkham Knight game on the PS4 at 30 frames versus a PS5 Gotham Knights at 30 frames. You tell me, look at that shot. That's just ridiculous. It's a stark contrast. We've seen this game in motion, and that's the way we're supposed to look at this objectively. I've seen both games in motion, and yes, Arkham Knight to me looks better. It looks better than that. Gotham Knight does not look great in any way, shape, or form. It's like decent. It's like mid-tier, right? We had games like AC Odyssey, as big as it is, at 60 frames on Series X. Dynamic 4K, by the way. It hit 4K sometimes, but it hit 4K. They could do something like that, but they refuse to acknowledge that this is what I've been speculating. It's the ray tracing.
So yes, I think what the issue is in fact the ray tracing. And honestly, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think what's going to be happening moving forward, and we've seen this happen already, is that a lot of developers will be using ray tracing and ray tracing global illumination as their lighting source instead of actually having shadow maps or having lighting baked in or doing that on their own. Instead of wasting development time on that, they'll just have specific ray tracing patterns and pathing, and they'll set it up that way. Boom, one less thing to worry about. We'll have the hardware take care of that for us.
Yeah. And
we'll just target 30 FPS because of whatever we got to do. And I feel like we're going to be seeing that more because A Plague's Tale Requiem is now like rumored to be 30.
Yeah,
on consoles too.
It's but I did hear there's a rumor that it would be patched. I don't know though. I know somebody who's playing it right now, and he says that he acknowledges that it's 30 frames right now. And
oof.
Yeah. So
that's a big oof.
Yeah, it really is. So that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you too. Do you think that this is going to become something of the norm for this generation, like it was with the last, where they want to push graphic fidelity over everything else?
Oh yeah, welcome back to 30 FPS.
Yeah,
100%.
It's you have to have those performance modes for because to me the performance mode mean more of next gen when it comes to the console space than any graphic fidelity that you can put out there for me.
We say that because we're old.
You think that's what it is? I think the kids got used to 60 FPS and higher. You know,
They got used to it
Fortnites.
now, which is why, for 2 years they got used to it, and they were like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" That's why the backlash is so high.
Yeah,
but 30 FPS is coming back, whether you like it or not, because the consoles is what they're going to be doing. You know, you've got all these developers that are just trying to push the envelope in visuals rather than trying to actually push the envelope in gameplay or AI or anything else like that, or actually, I don't know, release a game that isn't half broken upon release, try to optimize properly, for Christ's sake.
yeah.
Maybe you'll actually have a game people actually want to buy instead of just like, oh, it looks pretty, but I don't want to play it. Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh God, so boring. That game is so boring.
I don't want to sit there for 40 hours and have the girl talk to me for 40 hours about what to do. I know what to do.
Look at that tree over there. I think I could push it down.
I think I
Like,
can climb
shut
this
up.
wall.
Every time I ran by that fucking tree. Finally, I just pushed it down so she would shut up. I was doing different things, and I'm like,
I've seen
fuck.
clips of it, and it's like, it's honestly grating. It really is very grating.
Yeah.
And it's like none of it makes any sense.
And I'm sorry, people, if I offended you, if you love the game or love Aloy as a character. I think she's one of the most dull
Stop
characters
apologizing to
ever.
nobody.
Ever. Well, I'm not really apologizing because
Don't apologize.
I'm not, seriously though, she's boring, and the games are boring, especially that second one. They doubled down on the dialogue, the useless dialogue in the game, and it's like I literally sat there one time talking to different people in a tribe that it made you talk to, and it was like 25 minutes of talking, and I was like, "Where's the action?" And I struggle to go back to it. I keep trying to beat it because I hate wasting my money. But I wasted my money. I can't beat it. There's just no way.
I have the first one. I have to play it again.
The first one's decent because there was less dialogue and the story wasn't very good, in my opinion. Aloy, wasn't very great either, but at least the combat was fun. But this is just more of that same combat, and I find it stale now. I'm just bored of it. Danny Passion Official, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says the future is inevitable. Then they can cry but not run from it. They should be focusing on implementing their PlayStation Plus to their TV. Okay. Spinal 11 says Series S is the Gotham Knight killer, potato killer.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, that tweet about the potato.
Yeah. So I guess one of the developers tried to defend WB Montreal, and this was a Rocksteady developer. And he said that basically that this gen is not far off from last, and that the Series S is a potato.
Does he not know that like this gen, like the APUs in these consoles are like equivalent to like a 6700 XT or like a 6700 on the AMD side?
Well, that's my problem.
Oh no,
the
wait,
Gotham
I'm sorry,
Knights,
no, 5800.
The Gotham Knights game doesn't require. They don't require a high-end PC to run it at 1080 60 even.
It does.
So
it does require a high-end PC. Like, not would say a high-end PC, but a very good PC. Not would say very good, but it requires a PC that will cost you, because the 1660 Ti is in fact on par or like 10% slower than a 2060.
Okay,
so when you're looking at it from there, and then these consoles are on 2060.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if they had the ability, like that PC has the ability to turn off ray tracing, because you have the ability to turn off everything on PC, you can get this game to a 60 frame target.
I will probably make that game sing. Yeah. Well, if it's done well.
If it's optimized.
That could be a whole other ball game.
Yeah. It's
that could be a whole, but like
that's a problem too, is optimization. Yeah. These developers these days, it's always push it out now, fix it later. That's what's been going on. And that's getting pretty stale to me. I'm getting tired of that.
Yeah, it is in fact really, really bad, because what you're seeing is a lot of and so I had an argument with a dev when I was in a live stream. I would say live stream, but like a live chat with Paris on Twitter. And the argument was, I said, you're going to see devs put out more games that are buggy. And he was like, devs don't want to put out buggy games. I know you don't. I know you don't want to put out buggy games.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing. It's just a thing.
Of course they don't.
That's what happens. The game isn't optimized. It just happens that way.
And also you have to revert back to, it's the investors and the publishers that are pushing this game forward. No, we have to hit this target date. This is when it's coming out. And that's the unfortunate part, because I don't think any developer truly wants their game out buggy. No developer wants that.
No.
So, but there are better developers than others too. Let's face it. There are developers out there who aren't as good as some other ones. So, you're going to have some of those bugs. Hargeet Shiny, thank you for the super chat. He says the fidelity thing is what I fear with moving to UE5. The only thing that we've seen so far that really took advantage of Unreal Engine 5 ran at a very low frame rate. And he's talking about the Matrix demo, by the way. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, no, it's true. But do you think that moving to Unreal Engine 5 is going to cause them to push the boundary in graphic fidelity over frames?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's
absolutely.
Sad. That's pathetic.
We're trying to get back to the uncanny. We're trying to get to the uncanny valley.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to
happen. And that sucks. And that sucks. Well, no, they'll do it at the cost of frame rate.
Yeah, it's not worth it, man. Even a slow-paced game.
I've always said that art style is better than visual, than like pure graphics. Art style is always superior. You can go back and play a Nintendo game and it still looks good.
Yeah. Well, I can't go back to those games. The gameplay and stuff is just stale to me. The 2D side scrolling and stuff, I'm not a big fan anymore.
Oh, dude, Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap is super good.
Yeah, back in the day. The Andrew, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. He says he wasn't even a dev; he was an artist for Rocksteady. Okay.
Yeah.
He got shut down quick.
He got shut down real hard. In fact, he deleted his account. I think my response to him was
I think he was made to.
He was made to. I think my response to him was "suck my dick."
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that's what I think. Let me pull up the tweet. I think I have it here.
He said
yes, my original response was "suck my dick." Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, it's not the fact that they can't make this game 60 frames. It's just maybe they didn't have the time. Maybe yeah, that's the biggest thing. Maybe they just didn't have the time. Maybe it was pushed. It has to be out by this date, and we don't have the time to create this toggle or take out ray tracing, or I don't know. But at the end of the day, people were getting a 30 frames freaking Gotham Knights. And it's not that I was really looking forward to this game, because I wasn't. Based on everything that we've seen so far, it doesn't.
But at least make it 60.
But at least make it 60 for the people who want to play it. And they're going to lose a lot of money on this, Alex. There's a lot of people on Twitter that have shown that they've gotten rid of their pre-orders and they're not buying it. So, I mean, they're going to lose money on console for sure. Ashtray Gaming says that they'll probably patch it in, and they could. That's what
I could see that.
The Assassin's Creed devs for Odyssey, they patched in 60 frames. So, and that looks fantastic. Runs fantastic. So I could definitely see that. Scorn. Have you played Scorn?
I did a PC port review on it, so I paid it for about maybe 45 minutes or so.
Okay. What is your initial reaction to Scorn?
It's a H.R. Geiger version of Myst.
That's what I'm hearing. Geiger's Myst. That's what I keep hearing.
And I think people are not expecting to play a game like Myst.
No. And see, and that's what turned me off completely. When this game was first shown, I thought it was an action game. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's a shooter. I can just run around this creepy ass world, insert some shit and shoot. No. It's pretty much a puzzle game. It's Myst. Is this Game Pass fodder, or is it a good quality title?
I think it's going to be a niche title. I think it's going to have its fans. I think it's going to have its detractors. But to say things like Game Pass fodder, it's like the whole point of it being on Game Pass is that you can try different genres of games.
Facts.
Like that's the whole point. To say something is fodder just because it wasn't an immediate thing that you wanted to buy or didn't score a 90 on Metacritic is kind of stupid. Like it's just a game that maybe you've never tried before. You might try because of the fact that you're not directly paying the $40 for it. So just give it a shot. It's October. It's spooky season. You don't know. You might like it. If you don't, no harm, no foul. You still got plenty of games to play.
Exactly. I'm going to try it out, even though I know I'm not going to like it. I don't like puzzle games. Didn't like Myst, but I'm going to download it just to look at it and go, I tried it. Whatever. and just move
Yeah,
on.
if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like you never know.
Yeah,
right. Like you don't know until you play the game.
Yeah, some fanboy made fun of me one time. He looked up my account and he goes, "Why is it that you played so many games but haven't beaten them?" I go, "That's the beauty of Game Pass. I download all these games,
Maybe
try
you
them out.
didn't
If I
like it.
don't and I don't like it, I just don't play it. And you know,
Yeah.
the ones I did beat, those are the ones I liked. You know, it's that simple. Now I only buy games that I usually beat. Most of the games I buy, I beat. Horizon Forbidden West is that one outlier, but again, it's just hard for me to finish it. I just something about it. I don't know if you heard about this. Did you hear about this original voice actress for Bayonetta boycotting the game, claiming that Platinum Games only offered her $4,000 to voice the entire game? She took to Twitter.
I did hear about that.
And I guess she told everybody on Twitter, said this is what she's doing. And apparently the developer lashed back and said that you know, she's lying essentially, and called the gamers insects.
She did, or Kamiya did.
Kamiya, yeah.
Oh, okay, Kamiya.
Yeah.
So he deleted his account.
Oh yeah.
And
I think that was, he was forced to there too.
And then he brought it back because it's active right now.
Oh, okay.
He just tweeted 11 minutes ago. I see people repeatedly delete and reactivate their accounts for some time, but after actually doing it, I feel like I understand a little more. It's a sense of liberation, isn't it?
Wow.
So he's like super, like he's cringe, bro. Like he can make a good game if he wants to. And then he tweeted something that was like really just fucking like, it was like a moment from the Joker. Like I think the tweet was like, "I warned you." Yeah, that's it. The tweet was literally just him writing, "I warned you" in Japanese. Bitch, what are you warning? Yeah. Your ass has been getting ratioed since the day you opened your damn mouth. The fact that all he had to do was either say nothing or just be like, "We didn't want her to be on the actual thing. That's just it. We just didn't want to work with her anymore." That's all they had to fucking say.
Yeah, and it was like, obvious they were trying to push her out. Like, it was obvious.
Just be like, "We didn't want to work with her anymore. We just," or they could just have said, "We choose not to work with her." Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that they offered her $4,000, like,
bro,
oh,
it's
like
how
piss on a
little
plate.
that is
like,
to voice an entire game. You know how many hours she'd put in for that? And for $4,000, some may think, "Oh, that's an easy 4,000." Trust me. Look, I just got into voice acting myself, by the way, Alex, and I've done a couple of small, tiny projects, and they take some time. They take some time to do, and this is an entire fucking game, and you know, to just give her something like that and say, "This is what we can offer you." And no, guys, she didn't take the job. She refused that. But they're saying that she refused it because she didn't have the time. And she went to Twitter to say, "That's bullshit. I wanted more money for that."
Because it was $4,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's in the right. She should be demanding more for that. She's been the voice of Bayonetta for so many years, and now they've just replaced her. And if that's what they wanted to do, like Alex is saying, they should have just told her, "Look, we're going with somebody else."
You know, or just like give her like a cut of the merch sales, or a cut of sales after a specific amount, or something. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be like just an upfront lump sum.
Yeah.
But like Kamiya, he doesn't have the clout to act like this.
No.
That's what I'm saying. All right. He put out Bayonetta. Okay. You did Wonderful 101, which was honestly, when I found out so remember when they put Wonderful 101 on PC and like other consoles, and they did a Kickstarter for it? They already had the funding to put that game on those other consoles. They just did a Kickstarter to make more money.
Wow.
You are now one of us.
So it's like the guy, he just does shit that just doesn't make any sense. Like, he's not Kojima, so don't act like him. And it's like, just the shit he does just doesn't make any, like, it's like, bro, you don't have the clout, you don't have the ability to do it, and you're just a freaking clown. So stop it.
Pretentious.
I mean, I'm gonna pirate the game. I'm gonna emulate it. So whatever.
Yeah, you know what? Again, I'm not somebody who was going to play this game anyway, but if I were to, I would have boycotted it on this alone, because it's not right, man. Treating people like dirt like that, and I've heard he said a lot of things in the past too that isn't cool at all.
I don't know about what he said in the past, but I've heard that it was like ends in phobic.
Yes, yes. And there's some racial stuff and things that I've heard, and it's just like he's not a good dude, man.
Yeah,
So
he seems like a scumbag.
he's pretty much a scumbag for sure. Spinal 11, thank you very much for the super chat. He says maybe she can voice Scalebound. Oh
God.
man, that's dead. And
And
keep
you know
it
what?
there.
Scalebound looked like trash too, so I don't know why everybody's hyped about that game again. That game looked boring as fuck.
Back in the day, I was looking forward to it for sure, because honestly, that was one of the only Xbox One games I was actually looking forward to. When I bought an Xbox One, that was one of the only ones because they didn't have really much else besides Rise, I think. Yeah, but
The template, the God of War template.
Yeah, I just didn't play as well as God of War. I know you're not a big fan of 2018.
I hate
God of War.
2018.
Oh, I love it. Fucking love it. I can't wait.
I think it's a stain on the series.
Well, it's not part of the series. It's not.
It is.
No, it's not really. Well,
Then
there
why,
is.
no.
It does. You're right that it does take place in between. I think it's 2 and 3. I'm not sure. It takes place in between one of those, 2 of those games, but it's still a fantastic game. I love that game. There's nothing you could say to me that will change that. I love it. Nothing that I could say to you to change your mind.
So go back and play 3 again.
Oh, 3 is amazing. Like those games are
go back and
amazing.
play 3 again.
Those games are amazing, but this is just different in its own right. I love the PlayStation template.
I can't stand it.
I love it. I love those games.
I feel like what happened to like Warhawk and Parappa the Rappa and Vid Ribbon, and like
you mentioned Warhawk, bro. I remember that shit.
And like
PlayStation 3,
like fucking Legend of Legaia, Legend of Dragoon.
Oh, those are all great. Great.
Like what? Like, did we just forget about them? Is that what happened, Sony? Can we just not? We can't make them into a third-person game, so we're just gonna throw them off to the wayside. Like Dino Crisis, Fear Effect, Galarians, Parasite Eve.
You know what it comes down to? It comes down
like,
to
come
money,
on.
and it comes down to what can these games make for us? And they found a cash cow in this template.
They did
the cinematic template.
I mean, just Jack Sly Cooper alone.
Yeah, but it's not going to sell 12 million copies. That's the problem. So makes sense. He's yawning, folks, but that's fine because it's we're.
I'm not. You're not boring me. Stop it.
We're at the end of the show anyway. But we're just riffing here on God of War because God of War 2018 was excellent, and Alex agrees it was amazing.
That's a lie.
It's a lie from the
We're not going to get that.
anus,
That's
right?
not. You're not going to clip that on me, buddy.
Oh, damn it! Couldn't get him.
You're not. I'm quicker than I'm quick, buddy.
Dude, I hate my freaking Bluetooth mouse. It's not connected.
Bluetooth mouse. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm not gaming. That's for sure. I'm on a Mac, man. Come on.
What? On a Mac?
Come on. I stream on a Mac.
Oh my God, Fonz.
Look, I love my Final Cut Pro for video editing. So that's the only reason why I have a computer. Every freaking PC I've ever had has gone to shit. And so I just denounced them. I just pushed them aside and said, no more. Windows computers are gone in the trash. And it works. It just works.
Stop.
It just works.
No.
Yeah. PC, if I was into PC games, I would have a PC for that, but I'm just not. I'm a console gamer through and through. Will always.
I cannot believe you. I cannot believe this heresy. I'm about to actually just move to Linux.
By the way, Steam Deck. You got a Steam Deck, right?
I do.
Why?
Really because I wanted to tinker.
Because here's my thing, and let me tell you, I've been talking with friends about this because I don't get the appeal if you own a better PC for gaming. Like I looked into these forums, right, and I see these guys with a Steam Deck. 5 feet away from them, they've got their 3090 or whatever they claim to have, and they're sitting on their couch with a Steam Deck playing these games, and I'm like, you could walk 5 feet and play that, right? And my thing is if you have a better PC, why would you own one? A lot of them even claim that they won't even leave the house with it because they're scared to. They don't want to mess it up. And I'm thinking to myself, then why own one? Why?
I own it because I'm fascinated by what Valve has done. I've opened this up twice already. Like opened it.
It makes sense if you're on the go with it. I get that.
Well, not even on the go. Like,
come on, Alex. Why would you have it in the house? What's the point?
So
for that 30 frames goodness?
Yeah, 30 frames, sure.
Okay, 40.
No, like
40 frames. Let's go.
40 actually. I was
don't do it.
By 40.
Don't do it, Alex, because here's the thing.
We're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that again.
No, PC guys for years have clowned on freaking console guys saying anything less than 60 is not playable. Anything less than 60, but it's playable there at 40 frames.
So the issue is that you have a massive limitation of hardware. You've got it on a battery, which is the first thing. So your power draw is going to be a lot lower.
Yeah.
2 hours, about that, right? So the reason why it's not that it can't run at 60.
Some games do.
It's that
some games do.
A lot of games do.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I get Spider-Man to like 55, 56.
That's
which is
crazy. Lie. I don't
swear to God.
It. I saw somebody raving about it in the forum saying, I got Elden Ring locked at 30. And I'm like, Elden Ring at 30?
I can get Elden Ring locked. So it's a better experience. Mostly because if you cannot get the reason why people say 60 is playable, everything else below it is not, is because of the frame time. And so what you have is, what's the time between every single frame on the screen? And so 30 FPS is 33.3 milliseconds, 60 is 16.6, 140 FPS is like 7 milliseconds. Yeah. So the higher the frame rate, the more frames you have in between every millisecond, right? And so what happens is, if you have a fluctuating frame rate, what happens is the millisecond frame time between each frame becomes varied. And that's when you have that stutter happen. And so you're just like, that's why it has to be a locked 60 all the time. Because if you don't have it at 16.6, you go to like 8 and then 22 and you're like all over the place and it doesn't feel good. That's why even
doesn't like FreeSync help for that?
Kind of. So what FreeSync and G-Sync do is they'll adjust the frame rate on the fly to whatever the frame rate is at that time. That doesn't stop frame time.
That's
right. So if you get a frame rate dip from like 60 to 30 or 60 to 40, it'll adjust it to 40 so the stutter won't feel as bad. And then it'll kick you back up to 6. So you're like, okay, that I felt it, but it wasn't as jarring as a hard stop, and then I kick back again, which was what happens with a lot of Unreal Engine games, or like you get like a frame time or like a shader caching stutter. So the cool thing about this for me is that I have a PS4 in my hands. I think that's basically what it is. It's pretty much a PS4 in your hands. And so for me, I'm looking at it from the perspective of how far can I push this device? What can I do with it? How can I emulate on it? Like that kind of thing.
That's the biggest thing I see is emulation. That's what a lot of people are using it for.
Yeah, that is one of my biggest. Those are my.
Don't need a Nintendo Switch anymore, guys.
You don't need a Switch. Yeah, I think those videos of mine have done incredibly well for emulation.
Yeah, dude, I've seen one of them and it had a lot of views.
So my Nintendo Switch one has like 34,000 views. My World of Warcraft one, getting WoW to run on the Steam Deck, has like almost 40K views.
Yeah,
which is nuts because like. I think that's also like that's also the big thing too, is that like for me, I sit at my desk all day. So I don't want to like game on my desk. And if I want to spend time with the wife but still game, I can do it on my Steam Deck. And then with a kiddo, I can pop in like 20, 30-minute sessions at a time.
Yeah.
And not have to like dedicate time to go game. I can just do it, stop it, pause it, go back, do what I got to do, or like put it to sleep and then come back to it. So I think if like you're living that life, it's good. But I don't leave the house. So for me, it's like, whatever. I just use it for like couch gaming and like just before bed or like in like short spurts.
Yeah.
But like if I like, there's certain games I will not play on this. Cyberpunk is one of them. Like I'm just not going to play Cyberpunk on there. I won't play Elden Ring on there because Elden Ring I can't do that. Spider-Man I won't play on there.
Did you beat
I just do it for testing.
Cyberpunk, by the way?
No, I stopped.
You don't like it, or
I stopped. So
I
was
loved it.
Very
actually.
disappointed.
Yeah, I loved
Well, I was disappointed in the fact that like the content wasn't out for it all the way. So I was waiting for it to be fixed, and then actually have the content out.
Okay, so you played it a while ago. Yeah.
But I think so. The thing is, for like 40 FPS, right? We'll go back to that topic because I had a whole video on that. The thing is, if you have a monitor or a screen that has variable refresh rate that can lock to that hertz at 40 FPS, and you have the ability to be a consistent frame time with 40 FPS, it is going to feel infinitely better than 30. Because your frame time is going to be like 24, I think, around there.
Okay, so you concede that some frame rate lower than 60 is playable as a PC master race.
I'm not done.
See what
this
I'm
is
doing
where
here,
everybody
folks?
got. This is where everybody like couldn't read my tweet when I made it. So if you have no other option, right? If you cannot get to 60 locked, if you cannot do anything specific, your next best bet is going to be 40, because it is going to be infinitely better than 30, but still not where 60 is. 60 is still the minimum baseline.
It should be.
Right. That's like 60 should be the minimum baseline regardless of like that's moving up actually.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, if you have no other way of getting around it, you cannot move it, you cannot do the hardware limitations for whatever reason, 40 will be like the only other option. Playable, better than 30, yes.
Yeah,
you'll have a better experience in 30, but it's still not going to be anywhere where 60 would be.
Yeah. Nah, and don't get me wrong, I understand the market for it. I see a lot of benefit to it, but when I see some guys claiming to have a 3090 and also saying that they won't leave their house with it, I'm like, well, why'd you buy it? What's the point? Like, for me, I
think a lot of it could just be like they just don't want to be at their desk, but then that's $600 wasted where you can just get like a lot of other ways of just linking,
connect to your computer, to your TV,
to your TV, like you just run HDMI in the house. Like there's so many other ways to do it. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, folks. It doesn't make much sense to me for certain people, but I get it if you're really into, taking it out and going places and you're on the go. That's fine.
Or just fucking with it. Like for me, I just like fucking with it.
He said, I just like fucking with it. Danny Passion Official, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, Fonz, you were wrong about the Steam Deck. Even streaming Xbox library is a win for me. I get to be closer to my family while I play 55 to 60 frames per second. Okay. Yeah, he gets to sit with his family and play the games, I guess.
That's really what it is. The wife can watch TV and I can play.
Gotcha.
That's really what it is. Like, or like the kiddo can be outside playing in the backyard and I can play.
Gotcha. Danny Passion Official again. Thank you very much, brother. You don't have to be spending money here. He says Wolfenstein 2 runs at 60 frames in ultra settings. Wow, really? That's pretty good.
There's a lot of games that run incredibly well on that thing. Like there's a lot of games that just fucking sing.
It's probably games that are better, well optimized, and that sort
of
thing.
Yeah. There's better games.
Ubisoft games are running like shit there. I know.
Ubisoft games run like shit. Period.
Yeah. No, I know. They're not optimized on PC.
And so it's really just like, do they have a good Vulkan API? Do they have a native Linux port? Is there work being done for it? Stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Boba Fett Gaming. He says, get a better desk chair or something.
I do. I have a Herman Miller.
I don't know what that is, but I believe you. I believe you.
It's an office chair. You don't buy gaming chairs. Gaming chairs are trash. You want to buy an office chair.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, because I bought a cheap gaming chair that I'm using right now, and it sucks. It's so uncomfortable. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. I said the next time I buy one, it's going to be an office chair for sure, because this thing's a piece of shit.
Herman Miller is one of the best.
And they're all a piece of shit. I've heard all the gaming chairs are. All of them. Even the $300 ones and stuff. I heard they're crap. People complain about it all the time.
And I stole this chair. I didn't pay for it.
What? Right here. Exclusive. We just got it right here.
I admitted it on my stream. I stole it.
Exclusive.
Where'd you steal it from?
An office building.
Jesus.
It was right before the pandemic started.
Didn't know that.
They were just, everybody was leaving the building. I walked in, I took the chair, I put it in my car, I walked out.
Man. Oh,
I'm
man.
not paying $400 for a chair. You crazy?
Hey, whatever works. The Andrew
I live the
13,
life,
thank
man.
you very much for the super chat. He says, Game Pass PC on Steam Deck vid in the works. Okay.
No, because it only runs off of.
Oh, I thought he said
xCloud.
he was going to do a vid in the works. Okay.
Oh,
so
okay.
you don't have xCloud.
It only runs off xCloud.
Yeah.
There's no Linux support for Game Pass.
Man,
I'm a looter? No, I just take advantage.
it's $1,200. He said.
What is? Oh, Herman and Miller's can be $1,200. Yeah. If you get a good one, if you get a new one, if you get a used one, you get like $400 or $500.
Man,
this guy's about to get a felony over here.
Listen,
jeez.
I'll steal anything, man.
Oh,
I'll take that shit.
Danny Passion Official again. He says, I feel good supporting your channel, bro. Neo 2 runs. Oh, Neo 2 runs too. Oh yeah, Neo 2. So that should run 60 frames, I guess you're saying, Danny. But yeah, no, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate the chat today. I appreciate Alex. He was a great guest today, but we're going to end the show here. Alex, let everybody know where they can find you and, Twitter, on the social medias. Where can they find you?
It's always at OhNoItsAlexx with 2 X's because I'm super cringe.
Oh no, it's Alex. Now,
That's
why
it.
did you
And
choose that name real quick?
Good story. When I was on Xbox 360, I was playing Modern Warfare 2. My screen name used to be Bukkake Party.
Oh, they made you change that, right?
It made me change that. And whenever I would jump into Ventrilo while I was playing World of Warcraft, we never had our like character names. We'd always call each other like our real first names. It'd be like, oh no, it's Alex and Ventrilo. So I would just use that.
Oh, okay. Ventrilo. You guys don't know anything about Ventrilo, I'm sure.
Ventrilo is a whole.
Is it still around?
Yeah, Ventrilo's still around.
Wow. I used to use that playing World of Warcraft back in the day. I was a big WoW player. Matter of fact, I have a story about. I played up through the Lich King.
Same.
And then I quit.
Same.
I had to. It was an addiction.
Same.
So when I first started playing, I made my character. It was a priest, and I named it Jesus, and I had to use a special character to let it say Jesus. Well, one day I was playing, and I got hit up by a GM, and he said, "Hey, your name is not allowed." And he goes, "But I like it so much, I'll leave it alone." He's all, "But if another GM sees it, he might make you change it."
Change it, yeah.
Yeah, I never had to change it. It was Jesus. I loved it because I was a healing priest at the time.
That's a very good name.
But yeah, it was badass.
I started as a warrior, and then I would main tank, MC, and BWL, and then TBC came out, and I was like, I'm gonna make a warlock.
Tell me you played on a PvP server.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, yes, yeah, dude. I'm
an asshole. I'm an asshole.
I was too. Go to the noob lands and just sit there and just grief them all day.
Shit, man, fucking Arathi Basin.
Oh yes,
that was it.
Fucking, I would play
Arathi Highlands.
Yeah, I would play my hunter, and at the time, hunters were like OP. Their pets were crazy, and I would just sit there hiding, and I just send my pet out and just kill all of them. It was that,
fun. And then I named my warlock Cock Talk.
Oh wow, you got away with that, huh?
Yeah, I spelled it KAWKTALK.
Gotcha.
So when you said it out loud in the raid, hey, Cock Talk, and I'm like, yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. My first Xbox Live account when the OG Xbox came out, actually, I was on Xbox Live. It was Burt Reynolds, and
that's good.
I still have it to this day. It's still active. Reynolds? Yes, it's still active. I have both. I have 2 accounts. People see my account now and they're like, "Oh, how come your gamer score isn't high?" Because I just made it a couple of years ago. Like, not, it's just for my YouTube stuff. But no, Burt Reynolds is my first name on Xbox Live. And it was funny when I first started playing, I was playing Ghost Recon at the time during the live beta, and I was shooting people, and they'd talk back to me and say, "I just got shot by Burt Reynolds." And they're like, "Is this the real Burt Reynolds?" And I'd just be like, yeah. Just fucking with them. Some people would believe it.
Put the voice on.
It was funny though.
Just rub your mustache on the mic.
Yeah. No. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. So, OhNoItsAlexx. Where else can they find you? Twitter,
Twitter, YouTube. That's pretty much it. I don't stream on Twitch because that's a hell site.
I got 4 dislikes. I just got one right now. It's funny. You can see them flying in on this program. When I get a like or dislike, they fly across the screen. Just got one.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny.
That's awesome.
This program is great. That's why it's funny when people first come in and I see the dislike hit as soon as they come in. It's like, oh yeah, it's that guy right there who just hit the dislike.
It's that guy.
Yeah. So I know. It's funny. Anyways, we all got haters. But real quick, one thing I do want to note here, and this is kind of a serious thing. In the community recently, we had someone pass, and I don't care if there is, fanboy console warring going on and all this bull crap that, he may have been a part of. The thing is somebody lost a life, and he was a decent human being. And, I think that we should respect that. And I just want to say Optimus Code, rest in peace. I know you've said something recently too, Alex. It sucks because, he was somebody who did watch my videos as well. He was a fan of mine as well. And I appreciate that, and yeah, he did the whole Pegasus Nation and things like that. But at the end of the day, this is a human being lost. Yeah. And that's all that matters. And anybody who has anything negative to say, just don't. It's not worth it.
Yeah, don't be a fuck and make me quote retweet you and shit on you, because I'll do it.
Yeah. But anyways,
and then I'll just report you.
It sucks. Anytime we lose somebody in the community, it's not a good day.
It sucks.
Yeah, definitely not a good day. Anyways, guys, with that, I'll see you guys next week. Still trying to figure out the guest situation and also the news situation. It's been pretty dry. I mean, luckily we had stuff about the developers.
You gotta have like 4 videos next week, bro.
Yeah, and that's the
thing. You better put out like 4 videos next week, dude.
Yeah. So
there's what do you mean dry? What is this excuse you're coming to me with? To me, dry. Of all people. Bullshit.
Well, you know what? Bullshit. You have plenty of stuff to talk about. The fanboy nation never stops. Just
off of gaming news, you could do a whole bunch of stuff. You could do the Amaranth thing,
it's true,
which is big on Twitch, which is big right now. That's a fucking nightmare. You could do the Gotham Knights thing. You can do the fucking Hideki Kamiya Bayonetta thing. You got what else? The new lawsuit for Activision Blizzard. Like, bullshit. It's dry. No, you just don't want to make the content.
All right, guys.
I'm calling you out.
See you next week.
I'm calling you out.